Ted Cruz responding to John Boehner today after the former House Speaker slammed him during a speech last night at Stanford University. Here's Cruz.
When John Boehner calls me Lucifer, he's not directing that at me. He's directing that at you. What Boehner is angry with me for is standing with the American people, is energizing and encouraging House conservatives to stand with the American people and actually honor the commitments we've made. He allowed his inner Trump to come out.
All right, so here's the soundbite from Boehner last night at Stanford University, calling Cruz, quote, Lucifer in the flesh. Take a listen.
Lucifer in the flesh. I have a history of getting along with almost everybody. In Washington, I have as many Democrat friends as I have Republican friends. I get along with almost everybody. But I have never worked with a more miserable son of
Okay, so Boehner also praised Donald Trump, saying the two are texting buddies. Cruz responded to Boehner this morning, tweeting, "Tell me again who will stand up to Washington." Trump, who's Boehner's texting and golfing buddy, or Carly and me? But is Lying Ted making another appearance here? Gawker found news from June of 1998 published in the Seattle Times that makes clear reference to Ted Cruz working as John Boehner's attorney. Cruz was even quoted in the article, so it's possible Cruz barely met with the man, or did he actually represent him very closely? Did Cruz forget about the lawsuit brought by John Boehner against Congressman Jim McDermott? Or something else?
Something else. I don't know. To help shed some light on this issue.
That's the year I graduated high school.
I remember the deal. I was in on that call.
Well, wait, hold on. I got to welcome you in.
Well, thanks.
I mean, not that you really need.
Here.
I know. You're anxious. Not that you really need it.
I will wait to be properly introduced.
Now, let's welcome in J.D. Hayworth, host of Newsmax Prime, seen right here on Newsmax TV.
8 o'clock Eastern weeknights.
Yeah, I know you don't really need an introduction, but I wanted to give you one anyway.
Well, I want to tell you what that was all about.
Tell me.
And I did not have any contact with Ted Cruz back then, but he was a young attorney. The whole deal was John Boehner, Newt Gingrich, and the GOP leadership team, back when he first took power in the House, turns out there was a Florida couple that monitored the conference cell phone call and tried to get it to the Democrats. Well, there was a whole deal where they went shopping it and they went to Jim McDermott, the Washington State Democrat, and so there was a whole question about liability and invasion of privacy, even in this kind of thing. So that's where that stemmed from. Chances are Cruz was a very junior attorney at a very large firm, and Gawker ain't exactly ideologically predisposed to say something nice about Ted Cruz, or really any Republican.
So you're going to give Cruz the benefit of the doubt
on
here.
this one? Yeah, okay. I will.
All right, let's talk about Rush Limbaugh, because Rush Limbaugh basically said that this is the best endorsement that Cruz could ever get.
Well, it is being talked about when Boehner uses the initials SOB, and it doesn't mean sweet old boy. It is something that can work very well with the theme that Cruz is trying to utilize, which is, I'm the real outsider, but here's the difference. I marched into the Senate and I called into question the honesty of the majority leader. I went in there and tried to change the way they did business, and when my Senate colleagues shunned me, I went over to the House and I got some conservatives in the House to do it. And we think that is where the hostility emanates from with former Speaker Boehner. But I just got to tell you personally, it's very sad. Boehner, as a young guy in the House, really was a conservative reformer. But as the terms passed and his desire, Nick Longworth had been a Republican speaker from Cincinnati, where John grew up, and that became his reason for living. And to do that, he kind of ended up running with the establishment crowd, more than kind of, chapter and verse, to the point of open borders. What do you need? Well, we can't.
So you think he shifted more in the middle?
No, he shifted more. He shifted more, not so much to the middle.
This is a whole other stratosphere.
He shifted into the whole. The special interest sphere of Washington, D.C., and what the chattering classes wanted. And you can hear in that audio tape from the Daily Stanford newspaper the kind of condescending laughter and the kind of clubbiness and of course, what everybody loves is a Republican who will beat up on another Republican, especially if it's an establishment Republican going against a conservative. So this does redound to Cruz's benefit short term in Iowa. It'll be interesting to check, or pardon me, in Indiana. It'll be interesting to check the tracking.
And the story lives on past today, too.
Yeah, I'm sure. Does it help Trump, though? That's what I'm wondering.
Well, the whole Trump thing is very simple. The bandwagon saying,
Yeah.
you know, Donald saying, look, Ted Cruz is mathematically eliminated. What's he doing picking a running mate? I
Yeah.
got Bobby Knight with me, which is a big deal in Indiana.
Certainly.
Yeah.
And you've got Coach Knight there, so that is a big deal. We're going to talk more about this. Funny, we should be talking about it now.
Yeah.
Tonight at 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 o'clock Pacific. Wow. Should be a fiery exchange between Scotty Nell Hughes representing Trump and Steve Deace, the syndicated radio host representing Cruz. As this thing moves on into Indiana, it's going to be something to see.
JD, always a pleasure to have you. We're still taking your calls. Give us a call, 877 Newsmax. We'll be right back after this with your views.